Are you going to buy something such as PLEX? Always enter code Aceface into the Creator Code tab here. This makes it so that 5% of the earnings go to me and doesn't cost you anything extra. I would appreciate it a lot. Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Welcome back to the Crimson Harvest of 2025. The Crimson Harvest is the event that is my favorite event in EVE Online that they've always had. Apart from maybe the Garistas events that they had in April. But that is another thing of the past. I'm not too fan of the new Garistas event. Otherwise, I like the Crimson Harvest because they usually have very good loot. And often you're able to use big ships in these events so that you can really utilize the big bad ships you have. But something unique, which you might have seen in the previous video that I made, is that there's even sites in this event that are for lower tier ships. So they've got basic ones that you can use Tech 1 frigates in and Tech 1 destroyers in. So that's what I really like with this event, that they've got this one specifically in 2025. So I wanted to just go over these. We've got quite a bit of rewards as well. We've got here. So we've got lots of ever marks and skill points. Quite a juicy amount of skill points, especially if you're Omega. Unfortunate thing is that many things it's difficult to get a lot of skill points if you're not Omega. But if you're Omega, tons of skill. 125,000 skill points, and you get these radiant cerebral accelerators. These things are very good. Make you train the skills very fast. 250,000 skill points. You see that? And then we get some historic Crimson Harvest skin crate. I wonder what that contains. I've not seen what that contains, but it'll be interesting to see what that contains. So there's a ton of skill points we've got here. So let's go into the Crimson Harvest. So the previous video I made was checking out the low tier sites because I thought those were the only sites that existed, but I've been exploring the Crimson Harvest more, and it is actually like it has been previous years, very similar. There's these Tetramon base and there's the Crimson Gauntlet, and right now I've been restarting, quote-unquote restarting my character in high sec. So Aceface is my high sec character currently, and that's because I cheated in, quote-unquote cheated in a lot of stuff. Because for me, it's very important that I feel like there's a lot of value in what I do. Because when I'm doing a site and it feels like, okay, I get 10 million ISK, but if I know that I'm already able to get 100 million ISK for free, and it's all of my current wealth is like sort of, it's not really certain what is partner rewards and what is actual stuff I earned. It doesn't feel at all as satisfying. So this feels much more satisfying. It feels like actually stuff I have got value. So how do I get this Harbinger I've got here? Harbinger is a Tech 1 battlecruiser. It goes for about 80 million ISK. Quite a cheap ship. And this is what I think is quite a good ship that you can use to run these sites for quite a low cost. I've got another character who's doing a lot of nullsec stuff, so he has a little bit of cash, 200 million ISK. I've transferred, I think it was 200 million to my account, so I got 60 million left, and I bought this ship here. This is actually quite a bit cheaper than the Praxis fits you often see, because Praxis is a very common ship, but this Harbinger, a lot cheaper. Now, you can obviously use other ships as well, but I think the Harbinger is a pretty cool looking ship, and it's also pretty high DPS. You can have 800 DPS with this here, and then you can have a decent amount of attack with the dual armor repairs. Unfortunately, this ship is not cap stable, so you can see here 3 minutes, and you should have decent amounts of skills when running these sites because they are quite difficult if you do not have a very good ship. So doing these in battle cruisers, I'm sure you can do these in other battle cruisers, but right now the most experience I've had when it comes to the battle cruisers is the Harbinger. So let's see, we've got a Tetramon base here, and it's going to be a lot easier if you run these sites around the populated systems that are close to trade hubs. So in this case, I'm in Amar. Amar is one of the big trade hubs in EVE, and the systems that are close around Amar are going to then have more players, and it'll be a lot easier for you to do them. The downside is that there's going to be a lot more competition. That's what's good about being a really good Omega clone maxed out. You're going to be able to get the last boss loot all the time because there's always a boss here. The boss gives a lot of cash. We've got a Varga, and this is a bad sign because these guys do so much damage, but perhaps we can go in to the active acceleration gate and we can then go fast on him because he looks like he's pretty slow. Ooh, look at how overkill these guys are. They've got Golem, Varga. These sites are basically all the same, these Tetramon base and the Crimson Gauntlet. You've got the shortcut here, and then you've got the acceleration gate here. To use a shortcut, I believe you need some kind of key. I very rarely use this, so I'm not too acquainted with using that. But there are a few different rooms until you come to the last boss room. And you can skip those initial rooms by going through the shortcut. You'll just go directly to the boss room there. But I believe you need some kind of key. If you know what you need, let me know in the comments down below so other people can know too. That'll help a lot of people out. Okay, so here they've destroyed everything here. And this is where it can be a bit of a benefit to... Oh, where's this? Suspicious wreckage. Is there a suspicious wreckage here? A suspicious wreckage. Can you destroy a wreckage? Oh, I can't. Destroy the unbargist. Suspicious wreckage. Okay, so I think that could be a little side quest, because in these sites you then keep going through these, you face the enemies, and then there are some sort of surprise structures that can appear. I had a declocked dark blood radio transmitter in one of these sites I did before. That made it so that I got some extra loot. Yeah, now I've got some enemies. You see here? This is going to be very difficult to get the boss. Basically impossible, because see these guys here, got Varg and Paladin. They've got so much DPS. There's no chance. You can just sit here and shoot away. Use a Scorch. And then this tracking computer I've got on this fit is to then aid the range or the tracking speed, depends a little bit on the situation. I've got dual reps, get a decent amount of reps, just to Tech 2 ones, but I've used some cheap mutaplasmids to get it to be a little bit more buff. There is Tetramon Commander. This is the boss we've got here. But it is a very difficult one to get when you have these two these two beasts nearby, the Paladin and the Varga. You see, we have no chance there, but it's just the way it is. We got this one here. This is the one you have to destroy as well. This declock transmission relay. Yeah, and they managed to get it as well. These things can spawn, and they can have some extra loot in here. This is something that is new that I've not seen in previous Crimson Harvest sites. It seems they've got some surprises, because I also saw that Mordu wreck there. I've not seen a Mordu wreck before, actually. Let's see, what is the guy saying? If it is my hero. Very nice when people are being very friendly. Okay. Oh, really? He thinks that I'm responsible for him still playing the game. I've heard that a lot of people get inspired by the videos that I show here. That's very cool to know. Let's see if we can find some other sites to do. It's going to be difficult to find ones that are not picked clean, because there's a lot of activity nearby. But this fit is using the Webifier and the tracking computer, and I know there's a lot of people's got a lot of different preferences on what kind of application modules they can use. There's target painters, there's Webifiers, there's tracking computers, and the reason why I decided for these two particular modules is because we're using the medium pulse lasers, and they've got sort of medium range. It's not like crazy range, but it's not short range like a frigate pulse laser range either, so you can still hit out to 11-21 kilometers, but it's nothing amazing. The thing is, in these sites, the NPCs, they often orbit around you, depends a little bit on the class, but you've got like some that are really close, around 5 kilometers, and then there are some that are a little bit further, maybe 10, but I've noticed that the majority of the ones, the big ones like the cruisers and sometimes battle cruisers, they're usually 15 to 20. So you need to have some level of range. But at the same time, you want to have a very good amount of tracking to also be able to take out those guys that are really close. Because if you don't got good tracking, you won't be able to get those tiny frigates orbiting you at really close range. So So that's the reason I've got the tracking computer and the Webifier. So the Webifier is to boost my application to the stuff that's close, because if you can use a Webifier, the Webifier is always going to be better for tracking than any other tracking module. The main downside with the Webifier is that they've got very short range, so you're not always able to use them. Even if you've got missiles, it's very good to use a Webifier because they reduce the velocity of the target so much, so it really gives a big application bonus, much bigger than any other module. But then also have to take into consideration that there are some quite a bit of NPCs actually that are outside the range of my Webifier. So the thing is, when I see those ones, then I've got an alternative of getting close with the Afterburner, but that does also take a bit of time, and it's not always so easy when you've got, let's see, a Kronos, Tempest. Then I use the tracking computer. Tracking computer helps a lot. I can boost my range and also and the tracking speed. So if I've got something that is just outside my web range and is hard to track, then I use the tracking speed. But if something is a little bit further away, then I'll use the range one, and it'll help a lot. So I feel like for this event, where you've got these types of NPCs, this is a better suited combination. I could use a target painter, and a target painter is a very good upside is that it's got a really long range, so you can use it up to 100 kilometers away. The downside is it's not so effective, and I don't really need to have something that is effective so far away, because these NPCs anyway were relatively close. None of them are further than 30 kilometers away. But this is how it is. You go into these sites, you destroy the small NPCs, and then eventually you come to the boss room. And it seems like all of these have been taken. You see here, I oversee a wreck. We have to go further out to find something significant. You know, this stuff, you can earn serious ISK from doing these sites. You can earn hundreds of millions of ISK, especially if you can get Dark Blood modules, because I know sometimes these events, they drop Dark Blood modules, and then they've also got really good boosters that can be worth a ton of money. You often get these Crimson tokens. See if we can find them here. Don't see them. Yeah, not so clear where they are. I might be missing them. Crimson Harvest. I don't have them here, but you can get tokens that are worth 100,000. It's like a constant value kind of item that you can pick up all the time when you get these wrecks of the bosses. You see these class 1 cybernetic incidents, class 1, class 2. These are those ones I was talking about for newer players. So class 1 is for Tech 1 frigates, and the class 2 is more for Tech 1 destroyers. The Harbinger model, the model of the ship, is pretty old. You can tell by how, like, it's got quite a bit of polygons here. It's not so round like a typical Mars ship. These parts are round, but when it comes to the small details, you see they've got like very straight angles here. And maybe it could be that they intended that, but I can tell it looks a bit dated. Compare this to the Zealot. Is night and day. Not light and day, it's night and day. You see how detailed this is. Looks much more modern. See how circular this is. Compare these circles to the ones of the Harbinger. Quite a big difference. See if we uncloak, we can check them out. Yeah, you see here. Look at that. It's ugly, ugly. No, but I think the Harbinger looks pretty cool. I am very fond of the design, but it does need a bit of modernizing. Same way that the Omen / Zealot, they look almost the same, but they look much more modern. Okay, so here we've got a site that's got NPCs that need to be destroyed. So here we can use tracking speed, and then we'll go towards the acceleration gate here. The thing is, see this guy here? He's outside web range, but I can still get a little bit of tracking bonus because I was able to use my tracking computer. We can get that Crusade over here. We have got drones too. The Harbinger is quite a bit of a multi-purpose ship. It's got lots of different facets for the DPS. we might have to switch ammunition soon, but we'll take out this crucifier first. There we go, good. Now the Omen. Oh, return that Vespa is getting wrecked. The reason I'm using Vespas is because since I've only got one flight of drones, then they're going to eventually take quite a bit of damage, and it's a lot easier to have them survive if they're shield based, because their shield will recharge, unlike an armor based drone that's going to not recharge its armor the same way. Okay, so this is where we can use our Afterburner to get a little bit closer, and then we'll also switch over to the range script. Take out this Oracle. These guys can do quite a bit of damage, and something I could change with this fit is to do some more EM based defenses. So you've got the reactive armor hardener, it gives us a lot of tank, but I could possibly get even more if I were to optimize this for the EM based damage, since a lot of the Crimson Harvest NPCs are going to be EM based. Okay, let's go here. Acceleration gate.
Drive active.
Unfortunately, lost the Vespa. Oh, almost 1 million ISK wasted. Did we get another signature here? Let's go towards this acceleration gate, so we're just close to everything. Lock up all these guys. Switch to tracking speed script here because there's a lot of stuff that's close. Oh, I thought I switched. Often these tracking computers can be a little bit glitchy when you stop the cycle. It's hard to get it to always roll the way you want it to. Okay, let's go. Now I've got the tracking speed script on and we're doing a bit more damage. That's good. And this Crusader is even closer, so we can just use the Webifier. So it's really easy. Really easy. Just blap all these guys. Blap. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using one of the armor repairs, and that's because we're not cap stable with both of them on. We can go 3 minutes with both of them on. So that's why I'm just saving my capacitor. I can survive the first rooms with one armor repair, but eventually I have to use 2 occasionally. And I would want to get into the habit of using 1 to just save a bit of capacity. And then when I notice that stuff is not going the way I want it to, that's when I say, okay, now we're using 2 armor repairs. Also, a good tip to avoid damage is to actually use drones, because these sites have a lot of drone aggro. So if you deploy drones, I notice often they'll like to switch to it. Even the boss will like to switch to your drone. So you can just, if you're taking a lot of beating from those drones, the boss room, your drones, they can be a good meat shield for you. Okay, let's use the Afterburner boost our Harbinger towards this augury. Please, thank you. Just need to get a bit closer there. There we go, good. Some good damage here. Okay, I think it could be that there's another wave, because do they not have multiple waves here? Yeah, they do have multiple waves, because that is not activated. Inactive acceleration gate. Tetramon Crusaders. So here we would want to have some tracking speed, not optimal range, because these guys are going to get really close. And we can use the Webifier as well to give it a little bit extra application. And meanwhile, in the meantime, while we're cruising away from these Crusaders, we can get closer to the Oracles, so that when we switch to them it won't take so long. We'll already be right on their faces. Perfect. Next room. Yeah, obviously big hits, 400 volleys there. These Oracles are mean. They're very mean. It's just like the real Oracles, the ones that you use as a player, do a lot of damage. We can deploy our drones as well. Act as a meat shield, and you give a little bit extra DPS if they don't decide to attack them. It's unfortunate how I've lost 2 of my drones, otherwise the 5 medium drones that this Harbinger is able to carry, they offer a significant boost to your DPS. You see 679 without the drones, and then with the drones we do over 800, so quite a bit of extra DPS we get supplementary from the drones, medium drones. Useful here, especially where you got battle cruisers that are not going to apply too well to them. So even if they do switch to drones, they're not going to be able to knock them out too quickly. Hopefully, I have a history of drone abuse, so I try to avoid it, especially in the Zealot and the Abyss. Good. Okay, let's go here.
Drive active.
So we're in the last room now. Didn't take too long actually. Okay, so this room can get spicy. You need to be careful here. Don't get too cocky. Keep an eye on your armor, and if you have to warp out, you have to warp out. Just don't get too cocky because this room can hurt. The boss can also hurt quite a bit. So we'll deploy some drones as well to add to the meat shield. The majority of the DPS, I believe, is in that Oracle, because the Oracle is a very heavy hitter. But these Omens, I believe, they do also quite a bit of damage. See, 100 volleys we're getting from... we're getting webbed here, so we're not able to really move much. So it might be an idea that we actually try to knock out that... Omen. Can we do that? Yeah, see, we're doing a lot of damage to that Omen. So destroy the Omen, and then we go for the Oracle, and then finally the Curse. Oh, look at that. You see, that Curse is switched over to my drones. That one might die, actually. Okay, let's go. Now I can go for the Oracle with full damage with the Conflagration. Oh yeah, let's go. Look at that. Look at the Harbinger. Looks so cool when he's flying like that. Is this Augur, is he providing remote reps? I'm interested to know if he is. Is he providing remote reps? He's not really doing anything apart from attacking my drones, is he? No, he's not attacking my drones. What is he doing, this Augur? Okay, let's chill here a little bit. Good, now I'll go for the Augur. So far, the Harbinger is actually doing really well. This, I believe it could be something that he's able to survive the Tetrimon damage profile a bit better, because I remember being against the Blood Raiders in the Crimson Gauntlet, and I had a lot harder time with this Harbinger. I had to use the double reps a lot more. Last night I did a Crimson Gauntlet and I had a bit of a hard time. Let's go for this Oracle here. Go for this straight away. These Omens, I think, could be good targets to try to take out quickly. These are Vespa IIs. Help a little bit. Vespas will eliminate these frigates really quickly. And the tracking speed script too. Let's get our battle cruiser a bit forward here. There we go, good. And then we also want to take out those Omens because they're causing a bit of Webify and complications here. There we go, good. Now for this one here. Now we're going to have to use a double repper. Keep going to that Oracle. I want to get close to him so we can take him out. Oh, get a bit of cat problem. Oh no, Vespas are being lost. Oh. Drone abuse, not good. That drone almost died there. Okay, let's get this Oracle. A lot of damage is coming from him. What is damage profile? Almost exclusively EM and thermal. Oh, I'm able to claim any rewards here because the agency has got some reward tab which you can get the encounters, Crimson Harvest, you can claim some rewards. bit of
has run
Scorch.
out of charges.
So let's see if we can get the boss to spawn in. Be nice to see. Oh, we've got some more people spawning in now. I think the boss might spawn in soon. We get the a lot of E-War here. Tracking disruptors there. Tracking disruptors even. Get those Vespas out there.
Module has run out of charges.
There's a curse that's doing a lot of... Ooh, and then the boss is in as well. That's very difficult. Oof. All the drones are dead. Oh no. This is shaky. This is like how I experienced the Crimson Harvest site, the Crimson Gauntlet site not so long ago. If we keep it transversal from the boss, where is he? There he is. Oh, it's so difficult because we're getting tracking disruptors, so we can't really get those light drones out as precaution. There's a lot of... Oh, we'll probably die here. Who is warp disrupting us? That curse. Oh no. Oh no. 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 Got absolutely wrecked here. It was working fine last night.
Capacitor is empty.
Oh. I spoke too soon. I thought it was going really well here, but it did not seem to go too well here. Rest in peace. We almost got it. See, only three more NPCs left. Oh, we're gonna need to find some other solution to this. Well, that's the Crimson Harvest. It's interesting. You know, this event is not too easy. You have to think a bit when doing this. I got a little bit too cocky there with the Harbinger. I thought it was going to work out really well, but did not go so well. So I think I'll go back to Amar reshift something else that can actually do these properly and also at a cheap price, because we're a bit limited on our budget right now. A lot of wasted cash right there. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.